Hey, yo, what's going on, you guys? Your boy Pony Montana, and in this video, we're going to be going over how to train like a pro. Now, we're going to be going over the ins and outs, and it's pretty much going to be listed down to like a 5 kind of list thing, and then we're going to touch base on each of those subjects. Now, before I get into it, if you guys are new, you guys already know the vibes, man. Well, excuse me. If you guys are new, you don't know the vibes, so subscribe. But if you are coming back for another one, you guys already know the vibes. FTA, comment down below, yada, yada, yada. Like the video, subscribe, yeah. Don't want to make the intro too long because I don't know how long this video is going to end up being, because I'm going to be talking a decent amount. Now, we're not going to go over anything specific in this video in terms of play wise, because that's also something that needs to be spoken about, is things that are, you know, plays. We're simply going over how to train like a pro in Madden in general, and this is going to be something that's going to help you guys out next year and the year after that and the year after that and the year after that. Now, it's been the same story year after year after year after year. You see the same people making it into these competitive circuits. The young Kivs, Henry's gonna end up being there for years. Dez is gonna end up being there for years. Wesley, Fancy, D Croft, guys like that. There's one common denominator between all those guys that are always there at the top of the top, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Is what steps do you need to take to get there? So number one, we're gonna talk. You just have to know the game. If you don't know the game, then these steps you have to take you're a lot of steps behind, and this is something that needs to be like heard. I guess I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. If you are a bot, if you're trash, if you don't know certain if you're still worrying about IDing the mic and double teaming and what a quarter does, what a deep half does, these are not the tips for you, unfortunately. And I know that for some people that might sound rough. I'm not saying that you can't get there, but this video specifically is for people that already have some kind of knowledge. Now, for those of you guys who aren't there yet and you don't know the game and don't know the fundamentals of playing Madden and certain things like how to make reads and stuff like that, well, guess what? You have about 5 months to get it together until the next Madden comes out, so that you could take this into effect and go and and start getting better at the game, and be prepared for the next year, for the next Madden, because knowing the game is a huge part of being good. And I know that this is probably one of the most simple things, but knowing the games is very, very simple. And when I say knowing the game, I mean, knowing blitzes, knowing blitzing patterns, knowing how zones play in the game. And each year it's a little bit different. So obviously, once a new game comes out, there's certain things you look for to look for when when the game first comes out, and it starts at the beta, and then as soon as the game comes out, somebody finds certain things, and then obviously they lab with each other, and then they create monsters out of each other. So that's going to bring me into point number 2, and that is finding lab partners. Now, when I say find lab partners, this is something that a lot of people miss the mark on, because when I say find lab partners, I don't mean find Timmy from down the street that says, "Hey, I'm good at Madden." I apologize if your name is Timmy, but I gotta find a name for an example. But I'm not saying Tim, Larry, and Mo. Like they play Madden once a week and they work a full-time job and they do this and they do that. Those are not the guys that I'm referring to. This is a part-time job that needs to be taken seriously, because not everybody's going to be able to pick up the sticks and just compete to win for money in the MCS or whatever the case may be. And again, I'm gonna bring these guys up a lot because they are at the top of the top. But Dez and Henry, what do they have in common? They lab and they're in discords with other top 50 players in the world. And that's being very dramatic. Probably the top 30 players, top 20 players in the world. They are nonstop in discords, group chats, labbing with players like that to get better, because iron sharpens iron. So if you're sitting there playing with Timmy from down the street because he's got a 99 overall mutt team, that is simply something that is gonna that's gonna make you worse, to be honest with you. So if you're sitting there and you're playing MUT head to head, and you're facing randomly, you're playing a game playing Dollar, just using Dollar as an example this year because it was the best defense, or is the best defense, but you got somebody that's playing Dollar, and then the next game you got you find a Timmy where you're sitting there playing that Timmy and he's in 3-4 defense, and you're carving him up and you're getting a little confident. Once you end up playing a competitive person, you are going to get absolutely demolished. Why? Because of those games that build up your confidence, they falsely build up your confidence, making you think that you're way better than you are. That's gonna make you worse, to be honest with you. So find lab partners so that they can run meta schemes against your scheme, and you can do the same to them. And again, iron will sharpen iron. You're not gonna sit there and sharpen your blade on wood, and that's exactly what those people that aren't trying to advance to that next level, that's exactly what they are. They're wooden swords that you're trying to sharpen your iron one with, and that's not going to help you out at all. You're going to simply end up becoming a worse Madden player. So again, lab partners might be one of the biggest things, because everyone that's in the top 10 of Madden, they have someone to lab with that is a competent Madden player. They're good in their own right, and they're respected from other players. I believe the only person that doesn't have like a big group of people that they lab with, and again, this is the first time this person's ever been in the competitive scene, and that I believe his name is Cole Bolts. I could be wrong, but I believe that's the only person that doesn't have a group behind him who they lab consistently with to find out schemes, to find out plays, to find out what works against what. That's probably the only person. So your odds go a little bit higher when you find a group of people that are willing to, to give you reps, to give you rep games and stuff like that. Now, to keep touching base on that, rep games are a huge part of that, and that's why you need lab partners, because knowing the game is only one part, but getting rep games against good players is going to turn you into a monster. It's going to turn you into a much better player, especially if you guys are going over bits and pieces of games that pretty much help you be better. So like for instance, if you guys are playing, just to bring up another example besides Madden, if you guys are playing something like chess, for example, and your rating is you got a 2600 rating, you're up there with grandmasters and stuff like that, and you keep playing people that are 500 elo. What's that gonna do? Eventually, you're gonna start getting worse at chess, simply because you're nonstop playing players that are, that are way lower. And then once they beat you, their confidence will be up, but they're still gonna be at around a 500 to 700 kind of elo, right? And then you're still gonna be stuck where you're at, or much lower, because every draw is gonna take away points, every loss is gonna take away points, and then when you win a game, what's gonna happen? Your elo is not going to go up at all, because you're so much better than that person that you're playing. Same rules apply to Madden. Very, very difficult to do, but finding lab partners is huge. So it's one of the harder things to do as well, to find lab partners. It's very difficult, but it's something that is worth it. So if you guys have the opportunity to play with certain people, do so, because it will only make you better at Madden. Now, number 3. Now we're gonna. This is something that you need to find. This is something that needs to be found every single Madden. This year it was Dollar. Last year it was Dollar. The year before that, I think it was 335. No, last year it was mid blitz. The year before that was 335 normal. Tampa 2, the blitz, the edge blitz that came off the edge and stuff. The year before that, it was 335 with the looping blitz that came around. There's a 4-man blitz every single year, and this is probably the only gameplay thing that needs to be found. There's a 4-man blitz that comes out every single year, and I think it's extremely important to find that blitz, to be one of the first people with that blitz. And when I mean a 4-man blitz, so if I'm coming out and I'm running Dollar, if you sit there and you base a line and you have this edge guy coming off of the left side, for some reason it is one of the best blitzes in the game, and it's a 4-man screamer. Easy. They have to block their running back on that side to actually block it, or block a tight end on that side. It's very, very frustrating, but it's one of the reasons why Dez became a champion, simply because he was sending 4 to 5 every play. So the 4-man version ends up being a very good blitz, and then the 5-man version is almost unblockable. So same thing with Dollar. You've got two edge corners pretty much blitzing off of the edge while having very, very good coverage everywhere else. And this is something that Dez did. He came down. He came down. He brought his safeties down to make sure that they're guarding whatever, and that 4-man blitz turned into a 5-man blitz, and to win the championship, Henry couldn't move. Granted, Henry could have, taken shorter routes more often times and trying to, go for like a deeper corner route, but Des had everything clamped up, sending a 5-man blitz. This is probably one of the most important things to know in Madden is a 5-man blitz. We all look for heat. We all look for that pressure, and a 4 to 5-man blitz is going to make your life 10 times easier, and it will make whoever you're playing's life 10 times harder and more frustrating. And again, this leading back to the lab partners, this is something that you find with lab partners. But again, this is this is something that's crucial. Now, back to the lab partner situation. If you don't have lab partners, there's something you guys can do, obviously, to kind of try to get a leg up, and that's simply watch the best play. By watching the best play, you're gonna be able to see what formation they're in. And again, knowing what formation they're in leads back to point number 1, and that's knowing the game. So if I come out and I'm in something like this, I'm immediately gonna know that if my opponent comes out in a defense like this, where whatever the case may be, I know exactly what defense this is. I know that I'm in Dollar. If I go and I audible, I can't audible into anything in this playbook. But if there was a point to audible, like if I was in nickel, I could tell whether it's nickel over, nickel 3-3, nickel 3-3-5, nickel Sam, nickel, like certain things like that. You need to be able to know that, simply because if you're watching the best play, you're gonna need to know what it is that they're doing. So if they're coming out and they're running certain route concepts, take a note of that. Take a note of what the best are running, and then implement that into your scheme. Because again, a lot of people think that your scheme isn't gonna work, but again, Cole Bolts, shout out to him, because he did something amazing this year, and he brought up, and I know he was running bunch for a majority of his plays and stuff, but he had a completely different scheme that was off meta that a lot of people weren't ready for, and it helped win him. I believe it was like 80 grand or something like that, some crazy amount that is amazing. Shout out to him for that. But again, watching the best play is only going to make you better if you start implementing what they're implementing. Now, the problem with this is a lot of people get frustrated and bored, and they switch schemes and stuff like that, and eventually you end up reverting back to how you used to play because it's quote unquote more fun. But in this situation, we're not looking for fun. We're simply looking to become the best Madden players that we possibly can, and that you can attribute this to any aspect in life, man. You got to know how to be better. You got to watch the people that be better. That's why people want to train with Floyd Mayweather, or they want to train with John Bones Jones. Why? Because those are two of the greatest fighters of all time. They want to play Magnus Carlsen in chess because he's the best chess player of all time. It doesn't matter what it is. You want to watch the best. You want to train with the best, and you want to watch the best, because again, back to the iron sharpens iron. You're only going to get better with that. Now, before I talk about the last one, the last one might hurt some of us. It's hurt me, but Madden Ultimate Team, get with it, get comfortable, or you will never ever be competitive or be deemed competitive in Madden. I'm sorry to say this, but Madden Ultimate Team has taken over. I honestly don't ever think that they'll ever do a Rex tournament again unless it's a live tournament. So for those of you guys who are sweating over regs games and stuff like that, you're doing it for no reason, because regs has literally zero rewards. The only thing that you could possibly do is play money games on regs, and by all means that's cool, but at the end of the day, this is for people that want to compete in the MCS. and you're not going to be able to do so if you don't play Madden Ultimate Team. So this is another little random key, a random point that needs to be, you know, talked upon, because a lot of people are gonna sit there and, oh, but Regs is more fair, or Regs is better, we don't need abilities. This video is not for you, because you're too busy talking about cheese and abilities and blah 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 blah, rather than adjusting to what the MCS is, Madden Championship Series, which that's where people gauge who are the best players, the Madden Championship Series, and who you're beating in money games and stuff like that. No one worthy of it is playing money games on regs, and the MCS is probably never going back to a regs format, because they get to promote cards. And again, I'm very much against this myself. I think regs should be the first tournament every single year, but regs doesn't allow them to promote cards so people spend more money and stuff like that. And I get that EA is a business, and they have to, you know, they have to try to squeeze out as many funds as they possibly can. So I understand that, but from our standpoint as competitors, we have to adjust to what they want to do. And because that's what they want to do, we have to adjust to that and make sure that we're sitting there playing Madden Ultimate Team. So if you guys want to be the best, you guys have to play Madden Ultimate Team, unfortunately. Sorry about that, but you don't want to be that guy. Why is there a brother up north better than Jordan that didn't get that break? So why is there the best Madden player on regs that won't switch over to MUT? If you're truly one of the best Madden players, but you won't play Madden Ultimate Team, then you're not truly one of the best Madden players. Simple. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is something that also hurts me and will probably hurt 80% of the people that watch this video. I'm going to say 80. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to say 75. Dedication. Now, I have 2 kids and a full-time job. For those of you guys who don't know, I work at a casino. I'm a full-time, I'm a manager. Let's just say that. And long hours, 2 kids, it is very, very difficult to grind Madden and be dedicated to Madden, having those kinds of responsibilities. For those of you guys who might have kids, you guys already know how hard it is to sit there and even play video games. And I sat here and I uploaded a video for Madden once a day, simply because of, you know, this my grind. I barely sleep. So when it comes to dedication, that's gonna be the talking point. Dedication when it comes to Madden. This is a part-time job, potentially a full-time job if you really, really want to be the best. Now, what I mean by that is you've got these kids. I don't think, and again, let's just name drop again. Henry doesn't have a job. Madden is his job. Dez doesn't have a job. Madden is his job. Granted, they are extremely skilled young men, and I give them all the props in the world, but they have all the time in the world to sit there and do this. While you guys with full-time jobs and stuff, it's going to be a lot harder. So if you guys are single guys or girls, you know, and you guys don't have other crazy responsibilities and stuff like that, and you potentially live at home, who knows? The dedication part is huge, because you got to put time into this to become good. Especially, again, back to the MUT type of situation, you got to put time into MUT to know what ticks with players, you know, overalls and certain things. The dedication part is huge, because you got to put hours in. Even the players that don't have a job and stuff like that, they're still putting 4 to 5 hours in a day on Madden to make sure that, you know, their blade stays sharp. Simple. And it's very, very difficult, and it's one of the reasons why guys like myself in the tip area, we do so well. Shout out to Zan. Shout out to, I know Civil does his civil.gg. Throne has Hot Route. KMac has the TGL site. Same thing with Noah and stuff like that. This is something that helps a lot of us out that don't have enough time to lab, because these guys are putting out ebooks and schemes that are going to help you guys out, especially at the beginning of the year. So these guys get the beta, and then all of a sudden they're able to sit there and create a scheme for the beginning of the year that's always usable. And every year it's pretty much the same thing. Slant post with a streak. That slant post combo goes crazy. But if you're new to Madden, well, not necessarily new, but if you're trying to get good at Madden and you don't know what to lab and what to do, that's where these ebooks come along, and they do a great job at helping the people that don't have time to dedicate as much time to Madden, to like practicing and stuff like that, to actually go there. But unfortunately for this video, it's simply talking about training like a pro, and the pros, they all play the game 4 or 5 hours a day, and then they lab with the best. To make a long story short, they train, they play reps, they play rep games for 5 hours a day, 5+ hours a day, because some of them end up going and playing Madden Ultimate Team on top of playing rep games with their lab partners, and then becoming 10 times better players just doing that. It's a very, very difficult process. There's a lot of dedication that goes into it, and if you're not willing to put that time in, I'm sorry, you're not going to be one of the best players ever. I mean, granted, there could be that random that could potentially watch this video and end up being one of the best Madden players in general without even having to play that much. Like, to be honest, I feel like I'm in one of those categories of people who I don't need to play that much for me to be good at the game, because I simply understand the game of Madden. But if you don't understand the game of Madden itself, I'm not saying Madden 23, I'm saying Madden in general. Like, I get on the game and I know what to look for, and I can make reads and stuff like that. But again, that's only part one of being good. You got to know the game to be good at the game. These are all the talking points that will kind of take you from that, hey, I'm a good Madden player level, to like, I could potentially compete level. If you follow these steps, these are going to be the things that are going to help you guys out. And I think, again, the most important talking point, in my opinion, is lab partners, because those lab partners will have a 4-man blitz. Those lab partners will end up watching the best play, and they'll be able to share tips with you. And those lab partners will make the dedication time, they'll be able to cut that in half for you. So like, someone who's got to play the game for 8 hours, labbing and practicing plays and stuff like that, having lab partners, some of those guys will have already done that kind of work for you, and they will be okay with sharing that kind of knowledge. It's, again, that's one of the main important things. And I you know, if you're an introvert, or if you guys don't have social media or anything like that, this is going to be hard for you, and you're simply going to waste your time playing these games, unless you're incredibly gifted. Unless you're incredibly gifted, it's going to be a difficult situation for you. But if you follow these steps, you will become better. And again, lab partners is the most important. So when I say find lab partners, by all means, find lab partners that are going to be good, and you can find them on Twitch. I think Twitch probably will have the better portion of lab partners, because they're watching the best play consistently, so they're always looking to be better. And I think that's one of the main things that a lot of people will so yeah, Twitch or you know, competitive players YouTube channels. I'm not saying your MMG's a content guy, he's not a competitive player. I'm not saying like your KKs, I'm talking about like your Thrones, your Civils, anybody that's on like a tip site, because those guys are always trying to get better as well. So again, like-minded people will help you like get better gradually. You're not gonna find a Henry, that guy's already taken up. So again, you got to find people that are around your rank or a little higher, because those are going to be the ones that are going to be more inclined to actually play with you. And then you go on from there, you gradually get better, and then you advance yourself and keep going up and up and up and up and up. If the people that you were labbing with don't get better with you, then, you know, by all means, you gotta leave them in the dust if you're trying to be the best, unfortunately. But that's the name of the game, and that is it for the video. And I know I spoke a lot, but all these points are worthy of looking into, because I definitely feel like it's something that a lot of us need to be able to do, is train like a pro. And I'm gonna leave it off on that dot, because I am Dottie Montana. I will see you guys in the next video, man. Hopefully you guys appreciate this video. This was a long one, and again, one take, no editing, no nothing. We're just simply talking about Madden, and because I know Madden, stuff like this is easy to me. So I will see you guys in the next video, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, deep breath. As always, two fingers, deuces, and peace out, you guys.